Good morning. I'm live in Costa Mesa, California, and this is Namaste Today. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac weather. My name is Stepº25. Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart and walk in the light each day. It is a pleasure to light walk with you today, my friend. I am love casting live in 5 dimensions on this beautiful garden setting of Gaia on Wednesday, April 15th, 2015. And the sun today is moving us to God's spirit energy because step 25 rules the day. Now, there are 29 steps in every transit, 29 steps and one hidden step, one step 0. And by the time you get to step 25, you are nearly at the end. So here the next 24 hours, we'll be committing to our Aries energy. Our Aries energy is our ego, which I affectionately call the dumbass in all of us. And because of Uranus and other certain things going on in the cosmic clock, this year, as we create a new ego or we look at our ego, we may in fact be creating a new profound one that is not based on fight or flight, that is not based on past life karma, that is not based on subconscious energies, thus the enlightenment. So this might be our first enlightened ego. Mine so far doesn't seem so damn enlightened, I'm just going to say right now. But I will say we are trying. And today, with step 25 ruling the day, this is the step where you kind of connect to your higher self by logging into your inner self, and you sense whether or not you're on the right path. Now, I have to say, in most of my clients that I coach into Sirius Joy, this is the one step people often miss. A lot of people are so good about getting up and going and charging and trying hard and working their ass off, but did they ever once ask God before they jumped? Did you just ask once? Did you just say, am I on the right path? So today, we are asking our spirit that. But before we get into the architecture of how to do that, let's first tame our brain, shall we? With the phrase of the day. I am mindful of my feelings today and listening to God. I am mindful of my feelings and I am listening to God. Now, if God is a hard word for you to say, and I know for some people it still is, we're still very wounded over this whole God topic, going way back for centuries, but I think this is the healed ego, the one that's not angry at the church talking. I'm just saying for myself, okay? This is my new ego using the word God, but you can use spirit, higher self, anything you want. The point is here is to be first mindful of my feelings, because your feelings is the state of awareness that picks up on all states of awareness, including psychic state. In fact, our spirit speaks only in feeling. So I'm mindful of my feelings, and I'm listening to God. So I'm listening for that little voice. I'm listening for that little nuance. I'm feeling out for that little weird energy that's different than the rest as I kind of plot out my intentions for the next coming year and for the next month. So today, no matter what you do, you'll do yourself a favor if you pay attention to your feelings and you listen to what they say. So one last time, just to be kind, I am mindful of my feelings today, and I am listening to God. And so it is, because I said so, I thought so. Now the ruling step of the day is step 25, and this adds to a 7. 2 plus 5 makes 7. So our emotional state of awareness, 2, plus our intellectual state of awareness comes together to open up our psychic eye sense. Therefore, this is the simple formula to meditation, folks. When the mind, 5, pays attention to the feelings, the 7 opens. So when we duck our head down and we listen, we literally can open up to the psychic state of awareness. Today is that day. So in other words, today is a Neptune day. Today is also a Pisces day. So if you have a moon in Pisces or any kind of Pisces energy, you'll find you're a bit more enlightened or sharp than the rest. Now, looking at the architecture of incarnation, if I can say that 1,000 times, step 5 is a huge stabilizing energy that happens 3 times in a transit. Step 5 is when our mind comes online. Now, the most powerful time is at step 5 in the first 5 days of the transit, but then at step 15, it is the mind that brings us back to peace when we're out exploring in the 2nd dimension. And in the 3rd dimension, which is where we are today, it is our feelings and our thoughts coming together in alignment, and this is what in fact opens us up for the right path. So this is the final correction of the right path. If the universe was going to warn you at any time it would be at this step. So you definitely want to take a little time to listen. So let's look at the chakras and colors involved. Well, we are now in the 25th day of working on our root chakra. And if you have any anxiety whatsoever, good diet, good sleep, and good exercise will solve it. So be sure to breathe through and ground your root. But today it's a double dose of yellow, actually, because step 2 is our feelings from the 3rd chakra, and step 5 is our thoughts, also from the 3rd chakra. I spoke about this yesterday, about how thoughts and feelings come together down the same channel. This is how we actually have to listen to our feelings to get our psychic information. They're literally in the same pool together as they come through in this spiraling energy. Well, when we bring these two together, especially when we're grounded with our root chakra, then 7, I sense the crown opens up. So today our crowns are open, our crowns are listening, and that's a violet energy. And if you have a hard time with crown, then little lavender as far as aromatherapy is concerned, and some violet or purple flowers really kind of open you up to that higher sense of spirit. You'll see some hummingbirds show up, and it's all good, right? All right, so let's take a look at the timing of today's planets and some of the fascinations with the cosmic clock. And here we are in the cosmic clock. Well, for starters, the sun is at step 25 Aries. Step 25 meaning the 25th day in developing who we are. That's Aries, who I am, my ego, who I am and who I am not. And today, like I said earlier, we're logging into the God consciousness and trying to see, is this who I really am? So keep that in mind. Now, speaking of our mind, Mercury is now at step 1 Taurus. Step 1 is I love. So our mind is on what we love to manifest. That's Taurus, what we'd love to manifest. So our mind is thinking about what we'd love to manifest. And of course, I think the hot topic of what we want to manifest is who we are, right? But wait, there's more to today. The moon in Pisces, which is step 7, that's what today rules. So the moon is swimming in God consciousness, swimming in our psychic energy. Our emotions are heavily picking up on psychic vibration, not just picking up on psychic vibration, but crossing Neptune, the king of psychic vibration. So it's a step 7 world crossing a step 7 king, and even more than that, look at this, a yod. So there's God, which is step 7, giving us the finger on a step 7 day. I mean, it's kind of like, if you don't think God doesn't try to help you folks, okay? I'm just saying, like, now this yod basically is very simple. On the one hand, the moon in Pisces is basically, hey, forgive and forget the past. That's Pisces, forgive and forget the past. Pluto at step 15 in Capricorn is, and take the rules in your own hand. Okay, that's what that is. We can talk forever on re-evolution, the 1776. We can talk about 1400s. We can talk about every time Pluto's in Capricorn, it's about taking your own rules in your own hand, following what your sense of God is, and point that to Jupiter in Leo at step 12, which is saying, point it to what you love, one, and what you feel. In a very gospel way. If you love it and you feel it, brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? So it's in a very gospel way that you point it to what you love and feel. That is today. This is what God is saying on a God day, on a step 7 day, with the moon in Pisces. But wait, there's just a little more. Venus has now reached the apex of her opposition with Saturn in Sagittarius. This means that I think we're at the very cusp of letting go of some primary beliefs. Saturn in Sagittarius is us rehashing our beliefs. I think this is one of many that we're going to let go of. So you are likely surrendering to one fight, to one old belief structure, to one old pattern, letting one go. So the Venus side at step 4, so you can surrender and belong to the right thinking, Mercury, and to the right attitude, Mercury. And this is, of course, Venus in Gemini. So we're talking thoughts at the primary thought level. So literally today, if you are listening to your heart, what you love, if you're listening to what you feel, if you're following that and you're mindful of what you are manifesting of the new I am, that's how this all kind of adds up, you will likely be letting go of some ancient belief in you or your life or your family or your religion or the way you were raised, probably releasing a self-limiting belief today as we jump off this also opposition. Powerful, huh? Right? I had to do this 3 takes because it was so much information to make sure I got in for you. So looking at the Tower of Truth today, the sun begins at step 25 and is mostly at step 25 for the day. So you don't have to worry too much about having to get the answer just so quick. Of course, a plane comes right now. but we're going to keep going because the sun is setting. So you listen to your emotions today at step 25, and you have until this evening, because tonight, step 26 is what rules. Now with step 26 ruling, that means you'll be finally open to something that flows or something that doesn't. You may find that some idea, some direction is not flowing the way you want it to flow, and that is not going to be what you commit to. You may find that something does kind of flow of who you are and who you believe, and listening to your heart and going that direction. And that is what tonight is about. Today is about listening to that subtle needle of who you are or who you are not, and following the direction of where it flows easy, because that's what we're going to commit to in the next 24 hours. So despite all that complexity and the noise of the airplane, let's just put a cherry on top with today's Joy Quest. Your Joy Quest, should you choose to accept it, is follow the yellow brick road, which you've heard before, and sing. Now what do I mean by that? Well, very simply, you want to not only follow your joy today, but you want to kind of let yourself get caught up by it. That's why I'm saying you might want. This is the part when Scarecrow and Dorothy and everyone were skipping along the road and singing the song, right? You're not just looking at step by step, joy by joy. You're generally trying to surrender to the overall flow of that, because when you love it and you feel it, you believe. That's what Jupiter in Leo is leading to today. And we really want to kind of like get into our anthem, get into our song. So if you've got a song that you play to get you into your mood, which I actually have a song, and it's actually called The Wizard. That was not my doing. It was just God giving me the most beautiful gift. But I would put on whatever that rocky song is that gets you into your mood, and you want to follow the yellow brick road and sing along. So if you're watched over today in my personal Sensei network, at 9:09 I'll talk about what your heart is focused on today. At 11:11 a.m. I'm going to remind you of where Jupiter in Leo is changing your life story based on your rising sign. Then at 3:03 p.m. I'm also going to remind you where Jupiter is changing your daily story based on your sun sign. So if you're watched over in the Sensei network, you should have kind of full fidelity here of where the fortune is and where your heart should be. Right? So let's move on now to today's telepathy. I'm going to beam to you another Aries superstar. These are Aries goddesses. These are awesome Aries goddesses, all goddesses if you will admit. And I'm thinking of one of these goddesses. Am I thinking of number 1, Elizabeth Montgomery, number 2, Linda Goodman, or number 3, Nancy Pelosi? One of these ladies is in my mind. I'll have the answer for you right after this. Can't find love? That day is over. With just 8 numbers, we can reveal all your secrets to sex and love. We call it Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. Find out the secret to your heart at secretsofbirthdays.com. And welcome back to Namaste today. So for the answer to today's telepathy, I was beaming to your temples an Aries goddess. Was it number 1, Elizabeth Montgomery, who was the star of Bewitched, a woman I watched all the time growing up as a kid and loved? Number 2, Linda Goodman, astrologer and author, or number 3, Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House? The answer is, yes, of course, it is Linda Goodman. I almost was going to switch it to Elizabeth Montgomery there just to throw you, but I was just like, oh, I love Linda Goodman so much. And I didn't even know she was an Aries until I did this research. Isn't that funny? I bet people know my sign. Well, anyways, if you saw Linda, it might have been your mind, it might have been your spiritual psychic awareness today, but Linda Goodman was who I was beaming, and may she reincarnate in peace. She gave us wonderful, wonderful gifts on earth. So now to today's rock and roll gospel. We're looking at Aries solo artists that were themselves a legend, and today I thought, because of where we are blasting off to, it'd be appropriate to bring David Bowie into the scene. David Bowie, who is a step 17 Capricorn. Now that is a Grandmaster Capricorn, because that adds 2 and 8, so definitely a Grandmaster as an artist and as a businessman. And of course, Major Tom has to be the song, because I think today we are going to kind of log in and blast off. By the time we commit tonight to what gives and receives easily, that's blast off, man. But before you blast off, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today in your zodiac weather and their mood forecast. And today I'll be giving you a little extra help. Remember, I mentioned that we're going to be looking at Venus opposing Saturn. So we're jumping away from something in our life and we're jumping towards something. So for each of the 12 zodiac signs, what are you jumping away from? And what does that mean you're opening up to with Venus and Gemini? Starting with the Scorpios. Scorpios, cloudy and rather tender, I think, today. I think you are basically jumping away from old value systems to open up to new trust in yourself. So it's old values you're stepping away from. Step 1, the Leos, cloudy and private, a bit reserved today. I think you are stepping away from old dreams, old things your heart desired, in order to open up to a new social world right now or a new social opportunity. Step 2, the Cancers, cloudy and learning today, I do believe. I think you're stepping away from an old daily routine or old daily work or lifestyle to open up to a new greater faith that you can go where your spirit wants to go. Step 3, the Sagittarius, cloudy, nesting, and resting today. But I think you're stepping away from an old ego, willpower, or identity in order to open up to a new relationship to yourself and therefore later a new relationship to others. Step 4, the Aquarius, cloudy and productive today. I think you're stepping away from an old reputation or an old way of identifying yourself in the world in order to open up to your heart's true desires and personal dreams. Step 5, the Gemini, sunny and professional today. I think you're stepping away from an old relationship to yourself, an old mirage, in order to step into a new strength, a new identity, literally. So you're really hit, I think, by this month's transit in particular. Step 6, the Librans, cloudy and hypersensitive to their reality today. I think you're stepping away from the old life's meaning, basically, so old thinking and old habits of thinking in order to open up to new meaning, new purpose, something making it more powerful for you for once. Step 7, the Pisces, sunny and cool, actually, with the moon in their sign. They're feeling it. This is their kind of day. Stepping away from old decision making, old ways of deciding things, to step into really feeling secure for yourself. So not deciding the old way, Pisces. Step 8, the Capricorns, cloudy and rather pensive and in their heads today. You're stepping away from an old way of having faith in order to step into a new lifestyle or a new health, maybe a new healing treatment as well. Step 9 is the birthday Aries, cloudy and spiritual today, very withdrawn. You're stepping away from old beliefs at large, so an old way of believing or self-limited beliefs in order to step into a new way of thinking and a new way of connecting to people that you haven't connected to before. Step 10, the Tauruses, sunny and social today with all that moon in Pisces, but you are stepping away from an old sense of self-trust in order to step into more money and more manifestation. So in other words, it sounds like the money's outside the comfort zone, my fellow bulls. And then finally, the Virgo, step 11s, cloudy and sentimental today. Your emotions are on relationships, but you're stepping away from an old emotional response and stepping towards a new sense of career and a new sense of future. So, wrapping up with our Lightwalker Parade. Hey, if you're on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. We thank you ahead of time. It helps us with our YouTube relationship. And if you want to be our friend, you can navigate to soulgarden.me and say hi, like us on Facebook. And of course, if you'd like to purchase a reading or any other of my products and services, come on down to soulmart.me, where you can also sign up for our email list as well. I'll give you a little ring-a-doo when things do happen. And don't forget to check out the Modern Mommies. They're talking about Nestle and water shortages in California. I really appreciate these ladies for educating us on what's really good, like water and drinking water for our children. Thank you so much. Namaste to you too. And lastly, I thank you as always for watching. I'm from soulgarden.tv. I'm just here to put out there a nice little pillow to lay your head down when you get tired, and here to help you recharge your light. So I thank you for showing up for me, and I'm grateful to show up for you. Remember, I love you, and live, love, be.
This is just so ironic.